live stream from Dulcimer Crossing. Today we're going to take a look at Front Range Rambles. And let me say good morning in the chat. Front Range Rambles is a tune. Let's see, I've got the sound down there so I can do that. Good. I lived in, oops, got to get rid of that. Put a period at the end so it doesn't automatically fill in. That's Facebook for you. Front Range Rambles is the tune that I composed in 2011. I was going to say 2,000 years ago. No, 2011, which was 10 years ago, for the hard launch of Dulcimer Crossing, the website that sponsors this live stream and which provides filmed lessons for mountain and hammer dulcimers, as well as dulcibro, chromatic dulcimer, and fiddle. We have a lot of teachers, but one of the things we needed was some sound kind of branding that would help focus and let everybody know these are the Dulcimer Crossing lessons that are starting. And so I wrote this tune called Front Range Rambles, and it is what the recording that I made of it became some lessons on the site, but it also became the soundtrack that opens and closes each episode of the lessons. So what I'm going to do today is have you have an opportunity to learn what it is and why I enjoy it especially. So we're going to start with the Hammered Dulcimer. It is a tune. There we go. It's got these potatoes at the beginning, which is common for a lot of fiddle tunes. So the first part is jumping on chord tones, and then walking, skip, walk right up on the A7 chord. Minor chord, B minor, G chord, then we repeat, E minor chord, B minor chord, G chord, and then a walk right up, and then we're back to the beginning. E minor, B minor, G, D, A, G, D, E minor, B, G, D, A. So that's how one learns it on the Hammered Dulcimer. On the Mountain Dulcimer, we've got two different tunings. This one is DAA, and then we're doing skipping. So this, I actually taught this at the Manuka Dulcimer Festival as a finger exercise for the left hand, because we have to reach beyond what we can do with any group of fingers. And then walk right up, skip, walk right up, skip, 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 walk right down, skip, 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 walk right up, skip, walk right up, skip, 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 walk right down, A part. And then we're at the top of the scale. Again. B part. Now let me make a couple of adjustments here. We're going to get that out of the way, and let's switch to switch cameras, and then I want to share my screen. And I want to show you, before we go on to a couple other things, I want to show you the Hammered Dulcimer version first, so you can clearly see what's happening. We're just walking right up the scale, jumping, bum, 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 walk right up, bum, scale tones, da, 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 D, D, jump, 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 walk right up, jump on scale tones, jump, 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 walk right down, D. And then the G part, or the B part, is G, 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 D, E minor, E, B minor, G, 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 D, A. Repeat. G, 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 D, E minor, B minor, G, 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 D, A, D. And that's how that one works. And now let's stop that sharing. Because on the Mountain Dulcimer, when you're tuned DAA, let's go back over here. When you're tuned DAA, your scale starts at 3 and it goes to 10. And this tune needs all those notes plus the ones below Do. Now, the rest of it is chord melody style. That's where we get to the top, the 10th fret. With a little up-tempo feel to it. Now let's try that, because It's very linear on the mountain dulcimer when we're tuned to DAD or DAA, but when we're tuned to DAD, it's a little bit different. You can see here now, it's the same pitches that we're playing as in DAA. So now let me share this so you are seeing that. Now let me show you what it looks like on the mountain dulcimer when I'm in this tuning. I've got to walk right up. Now if I only drone everything and play the bold notes, that's the melody. That ends up being a good exercise for moving from the melody string to the middle string. So that's why I use this as that exercise for the left hand. Repeat. And as I walk in the middle string, when I get to the third fret, it's the same pitch as the melody string. But when I play all Ds, the bass string, which is an octave lower, and the middle string at the same pitch as the melody string, now you don't have to use the chords if you don't want to, but they're there for reference. But you can see that this serves as it's hooky, which when you're doing a theme song is a requirement. It needs to have a hook. It needs to be the kind of thing get your attention, says here's what we're doing now. So that's why I wrote it that way. It was designed to have that hook that would say, yep, here we go. And I just liked Front Range. I used to live on the Front Range of Colorado. And I remember that there are two people that I'm thinking of about Rambles. One is my dulcimentor, Esther Creek, who lives, she lives in the Kansas City area. I think she's on the Kansas side now, but she lived for a long time in Kansas City, Missouri. And wonderful, wonderful mentor for me and encourager and a good teacher and good player. And her friend Sam Rosetta, whose name in the Hammered Dulcimer world should be very familiar. My Hammered Dulcimer here, it's built by Dusty Strings, but it's a licensed design from Sam Rosetta. Sam did a couple of things like change the trapezoid so it's not regular, so that this bridge can be straight up and down rather than angling off to the side. And several other, he's the one that designed the color markings for the bridges which is tremendously helpful. That didn't happen before that. Anyway, Sam and Esther are good friends, and many years ago, Esther wrote a book that had a soundtrack in it, and Sam had written her a tune called Esther's Rambles, thinking about how Esther and her husband Al would travel around the country in an RV, and Esther would set up her hammer dulcimer and play. And she said often they would let us camp for free that night as long as I'd entertain the other people. So, in the traditional way, like the blind harper Turlock Carolyn, she's traveling around the country providing beautiful music to people and being given lodging by the person, the host, for whom she could have written the Planksty. I don't know whether she did or not. I didn't ask. That's what Turlock did. But the Rambles from that. Now, the other one is my good friend and dulcimer builder and amazing finger picker, Janita Baker, from down south in California in the dry country. She and Bob built Blue Lion instruments, and she wrote one called, it's about one of the cats. Was it Lucy's Rambles? All over their back 40, which was often also a place the bobcats like to hang out. Very sagebrushy kind of territory. And we got to hike there with her when my wife and I went to visit many, many moons ago. But I'm thinking about both of those things when I'm writing this tune. And that was before we did, I was thinking about both of those tunes. And then when I wrote this, I thought it needed a name, and Front Range Rambles just seemed to fit. And so here is the tune for you. In the chat here, you have the DAD version, and you have the Hammered Dulcimer tablature or the music. If you write to me, I can send those to you. Steve, just to specify which instrument and which tuning you are wanting. I'll be glad to send that to you. Now, I want to call attention to something, which is why I brought more than one shirt to wear today. I also brought my brand new Berkeley Dulcimer Gathering t-shirt, which just arrived in yesterday's mail. I'm the artistic director of this festival. I wonder if its page will pop up here. No, it's not doing it, but no. Berkeley Dulcimer Gathering. Registration ends this Friday. And it's held May 14 to 16. Next week, I'll give you, we're in addition to having evening concerts on both Friday and Saturday, we have workshops all day Saturday for the festival. And then when we get to Sunday, there's longer classes. The ones on Saturday, an hour. The ones on Sunday are more like intensives that last 2 hours. And it's going to be Eilus Mears, national champion, 2016 national hammer dulcimer champion, is our headlining hammer dulcimer teacher. I'm the other hammer dulcimer teacher. This is our second year to have hammer dulcimers at this festival. Aubrey Atwater from Rhode Island is our headlining mountain dulcimer instructor. She'll be joined by Dusty Thorburn from Sacramento. Dusty Turtle is one of his handles. He hosts the dulcimer group that meets there regularly in Roseville area, and on Zoom now. And he was the host at Send in the Music last week, or he was the surprise guest. Kay Bolin from down further south, about 4 hours south of Berkeley on the California coast, who has got some really fun workshops, a multi-part arrangement of cherubini, and then shaping up mountain dulcimer chords, working out on how those work. And Dusty's got some fun fun repertoire that he's teaching. Deborah Hamoris is our executive director, and she's teaching several workshops as well. On the second day, she's teaching a focus on baritone mountain dulcimer, which is something that we don't often get to see a lot of. And she's got a baritone mountain dulcimer group on Facebook and that meets regularly and is just going great guns with that. So that's very exciting. And I'll be teaching one mountain dulcimer workshop on Saturday and a hammer dulcimer workshop on Sunday. And Heidi Muller from Joseph, Oregon, which is actually fairly close to me now that I'm in Boise, is going to be teaching some workshops. And on Sunday, she'll be teaching her songwriting workshop. So have a lot going on that weekend. But the new thing that we're adding this year is a vendor time around lunch hour in the Pacific time zone. We are going to have several vendors available, sort of like what happened with a couple of other festivals, where in Zoom, the vendors host a Zoom room, and then people can move around and go to the individual rooms. And I'll be there hosting the Dulcimer Crossing room, and we are working hard to be able to give you a hard hat tour backstage. So I gave you a preview a couple weeks ago of what's going on. This is going to be, there'll be a lot of the pieces working and constructed, but it's still going to be dusty, and there'll be some plastic flapping around and everything, and construction materials. So make sure you wear your hard hat for that. But that'll be a chance to peek around and show you how some things work. So that's coming up. Now, Jim, you are saying the end of the first time through the B part, it seems like there should be an E7 chord. Let's see here. That I don't know that would make it more hornpipe-ish, but you are exactly right. That would be the way to use the secondary dominant. I didn't think I was going to get to write that today. As a way to get to the dominant. And a secondary dominant in the key of D, A is the dominant chord. It's the 5 chord. That's the dominant chord in any key you're in. If I'm trying to get to A, and so that would be a way to get there. That'd be a nice chord substitution to add into it. I didn't put it in there because I was trying to keep it more front rangey. And I know you live in the front range. So here you are being the one to suggest the secondary dominant. That's cool. That's fun. I'm glad that you're thinking about that. And if you want to do that, you go ahead and do it. And you're right, in that place, there's room. There's a measure of time in which it could work. And because the first note we're playing is an E and the last note's a B, that suggests that we're kind of playing an E7 chord. It kind of outlines it in the melody. So have fun with that. I don't think I'll put it in, but you go ahead and do it and have fun with that. So I think that's all I've got for the Berkeley gathering right now. Oh, there will be evening concerts, and the registration ends this Friday, but the tickets can be purchased up until the concerts start on Friday night. Front Range Bramble. There you go. You got the Rambles and you got the Front Range Bramble. And now that I'm in Boise, it's all covered with houses right now. But when we look at the photos that were taken back when people were first settling this place, 6-foot sagebrush everywhere, full of jackrabbits and a lot of wildness like that. Not a lot of water. I mean, we are in the valley, and the Boise River runs through here. The Snake, well, I think the Boise runs into the Snake, and then the Snake runs a little bit further south of us. Or they're going parallel, and I think they join. That's it. They join beyond us. Yeah, Doug, they were here in the sagebrush time, and when you see those 6 foot in Colorado, I've never seen 6 foot size, but I've seen 3 and 4 foot size tumbleweeds. That's what they started out with. Okay, that's what it is. Boise goes through downtown. The snake is south and west. Very good. Thank you. And where does the Boise join the snake? Is it like up by Payette or no, the Payette River joins up by Payette, I'll imagine. I'm still getting all the lay of the land. Keep your cards and letters coming. I've got a whole file here of ideas for what we could do as we're talking about things, but I just got taken. Because I got to teach this Front Range Rambles as a fingering exercise a couple weeks ago. I thought I'd want to share it with you. Okay, we're going to discuss the Payette. I look forward to the discussion. And I can go study a map too. I'll go look at a map. Because we've wandered around and seen some things, and it's still all, like disjointed pieces. They're not all like photographs from here, photograph from here. We haven't assembled them. That's what I was kind of thinking. But I'll go do some looking too. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. This is the live stream for Wednesday. And I'm Steve Yulberg for Dulcimer Crossing. And if you want to write to me with ideas for what we can talk about here, you can do it with that email address that's in the chat and also is on the screen. And I will look forward to seeing you next week with something new. But I hope things in your life don't have the brambles, or if you do, you can get around them and keep on rambling.